money where you're not wanted or appreciated.
It was the one house that we wanted. The owner wouldn't sell me the house. Like, nah, we don't want no niggas.
We should all only be spending our money where we're valued as people and customers. It's a simple concept, right? Because it all comes down to respect and understanding the value of a dollar.
I need us to stop patronizing businesses that don't respect us, but they want your money to keep their doors open. Stop giving them your money until they give you some real respect.
But somehow, when it comes to black, rich celebrities, that logic completely goes out the window.
And I overpaid like a motherfucker. Just I bought with my pride and my ego.
I'm talking about guys like T.I. and Shaq, men who have personally experienced discrimination even after they got rich and famous.
The old guy says, yo man, you asked about all these cars, can you afford them?
And instead of them calling out those businesses or individuals for being racist or discriminatory and holding them accountable in whatever way they can, instead of respecting themselves more and taking their money elsewhere where they're valued as people, whether it was pride or ignorance, they decided the best thing to do was to reward that behavior by spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in places that they weren't wanted.
Now I'm pissed.
I mean, bro, I feel like it's just the ego, man. You kind of you're trying to show off. You're trying to like kind of show that you actually do have the money. I feel like it's more like validation, especially like in the black community. Where validation, you see how we always brag about money, expensive cars, expensive watches, jewelry, all that shit. It's seeking validation from white people, man. I'm telling you, it's just seeking validation. Especially like you've been down so much, you trying to show that okay, you finally up,
So what the fuck you just said to me? So I buy 3.
That's not a flex. It's really the opposite.
It's not.
All that does is send one message to people that don't like us. You can disrespect us and we'll still spend our money with you, which then just continues the disrespect that we as people receive.
That jacket is $1,800. No refunds.
What you think I can't pay for it?
Well, there is no layaway plan.
But I'm Drew. Welcome to the channel.
Fucked
Please
up,
like
bro.
and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
So I went and bought a house for $5 million. I'm in a Rolls Royce joint. Me and my boy Alex Tyson in there. He buy 2. So I come in
I'm back.
the next day, and I got on Laker sweats. Me and my boy Alex, we looking around. I'm looking like a bum. I don't like to wait. I like to spend money, but I don't like to waste money. So I don't want to spend $400 for a car. So I'm like, hey man, how much is this? How much is this one? So finally the old guy says, yo man, you asked about all these cars. Can you afford them?
Would a salesman seriously ever ask a white person that ever? No, the assumption would just be they can afford it. They have money, or they have family money, or they have the credit to do whatever. But when it comes to a black person, who clearly Shaq is 7 feet tall, so even somebody like Shaq is met with distrust, disrespect, and discrimination. We all kind of know this you can't afford it vibe. Most of us have experienced it before one way or another. Hell, Eddie Murphy called it out in Boomerang back in 1992.
Yo, I'm getting this, Marcus. Step ball.
That jacket is $1,800. No refunds.
What you think I can't?
And you even if they don't verbally say it, like you can always tell by the look, you know what I mean? You get that certain look, like like fuck is he doing in that store, you know what I mean? So like especially now, like they won't verbally say it, but you get that look of like you just don't belong in there, you know what I mean?
Can't pay for it?
Well, there is no layaway plan.
Hey, we're okay out. I don't need any help.
We don't
Damn,
keep cash
bro.
in the store.
Just suck 'em, man. Don't even trip on that.
Racial.
Yeah, you right, man. It's just a natural fear of black people. They're programmed, like watch. See how frightened you are?
But if we're being generous to that salesman, we can also assume that he knew exactly who Shaq was. Again, dude is 7'1", like 300 pounds, wearing Lakers shorts, looking at expensive cars. So either the salesman was using reverse psychology to try to ego him into spending more money than he would have, or he legit didn't know who Shaq was and thought he was wasting time by asking about cars that he couldn't afford.
Now I'm pissed. I said, what the fuck you just said to me? So I buy 3. That one, and that, and I want them dropped off. Move the seat back today, I want them dropped. So I got 3 Rolls Royces that never dropped.
Damn, bro. That shit happened to me. Pop obviously not until I ain't got no damn Rolls Royce money, but even me, like buying shoes, they always trying to show you like the newest shoes, and you trying to show off a bit. And most of them, I don't even wear like that. And you think you're the shit though. You walk out the store thinking you're the shit, but you just got played like crazy, bro.
So they go another million. That's 6.
He got discriminated against in a car dealership trying to buy Rolls Royces. He was mad, and his get back was, I'm not gonna leave the store and go to your competitor and buy 3 expensive cars and then rub it in your face somehow, like driving up to the lot like, yeah, I bought this same car down the street. Like literally, he would have had to pull up like Thugnificent from the Boondocks. Just park right in front of the dealership, speakers blast. That's the only thing that would have justified him getting egoed into spending $1 million on cars. Especially when he said he didn't really want a car in the first place until the salesman tried to play with him. And his get back was, I'm gonna make you richer and probably get you a bonus by buying 3 of these cars from your shop just to
Hey yo, bro, and I bet, you laying down on bed, but the buyer's regret, that shit hit you hard, man. Especially with 3 Rolls Royce, man. What the fuck? Oh, you need 3 Rolls Royce, bro. Why you need 3? You know what I mean?
show you in spite. How does that make sense? How does that hurt
It's an ego
anybody?
thing,
It actually
bro.
only benefits
They
the
know
dealership
exactly
and
what
probably
they're
the
doing.
salesman. It's not like Shaq held him accountable. It's not like Shaq went and talked to the owner like, I really want to buy these cars. However, this person acted like I couldn't afford them, so I don't want to do business with you. No, he just rewarded the dealership for discrimination and then flexed like that was a good thing. It's not. We just shouldn't accept certain treatment from establishments that we're spending our money at.
This the shit I be talking about with us as a people, as black people, customer service, and what we tolerate and what we allow to be presented to us, and we just continue to patronize and shop there. I'm not about to spend my money in a store that automatically thinks that I'm a fucking thief and that I'm gonna steal from them. I'm just not. I work too hard for my money for all of that buffoonery. And I want black people, minority people, a lot of us work too hard to accept what we accept. I need us to stop patronizing businesses that don't respect us enough, but they want your money to keep their doors open. Stop giving them your money until they give you some real fucking respect.
The black dollar plays a major part in not only fueling this economy, but in making all these companies richer, especially with how fast the black dollar is said to leave the black community. Black people's money is often spent in businesses owned by non-black people, meaning
Facts.
dollars go to someone else and are not reinvested in the black community.
3% of business.
I mean, look, like in this time now, a lot of people are trying to get educated and stuff like that, like investment, business, property. But you have to realize, like, that shit was never taught to us, man. Like, we are behind. I mean, now you have social, you do have social media. You can just go to YouTube and probably watch a video about finance and shit like that. But you do need to realize, like a lot of these, like, different races are ahead of us just because it's just generational wealth. Their dad knows about it. Their grandpa, great grandpa. It's generational wealth. But as you know, a lot of us are behind on that. It wasn't taught to us.
Businesses in black communities are black owned. That's a problem.
Yeah, you can't exactly. And like, if you do go to the black community, you see you see liquor stores, the gas station, fried chicken, and it's the usual people who own them, right? Right. On my community, like, in the black community, I never seen a black person own a gas station. You know what I mean?
And the reason why we have $2 trillion of spending power, but only 2% is spent in our community is because we have nowhere to spend it. Our money stays in our community 6 hours. Black people, we want to do business with each other. We just have nowhere to do business with.
It's also true for businesses that
Sure.
accept a black person's dollar but don't have black suppliers, black employees, or even black maintenance. Black dollars spent rarely make it back to the person spending it. A classic story of gentrification. So if we're spending our money anywhere, we should be valued as people and respected as customers, not looked at as a nuisance or inconvenience, and we just should not tolerate poor customer service or disrespect. We can simply take our money elsewhere. The old man worked for the dealership. He knew what he was doing. What, reverse psychology? The sales guy was a pro, right?
I was about to say, bro, like any salesman that can get you to buy 3 Rolls-Royce, bro, they caught you, man.
Because he got him to buy a car by just saying he couldn't afford it. You tried to prove you could afford not 1, but 3 cars, and he jumped for joy thinking about the commission. Exactly. Yeah, Shaq, you really showed the dealer. Right. Old man was a car salesman vet. He knew who Shaq was. That goes to my previous point, that if the salesman knew who Shaq was, then he just flat out played him. Because he knew exactly what would trigger a young black man with money. Black people's psychology around money isn't new. White people in business have been studying black people's buying habits since the 60s.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. They need recognition. Perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits.
Ebony magazine founder John H. Johnson funded a promotional film bluntly titled The Secret of Selling the Negro Market. The short documentary was aimed at advertisers insisting that black Americans were not only consumers, but an untapped market ripe for products, emphasizing the economic power of black families. In other words, black people were framed as a market niche that businesses needed to recognize, and it packaged black identity as a commodity. It taught white executives exactly how to sell to black consumers. It literally instructs companies to sell the image of success to black Americans.
And then the hypocrisy of the statement, I don't like wasting money, immediately proceeds to waste money. Right. I think this basically sums it up. That'll show him, Shaq. And this was my point. See, I would have went across the street to the competition and spent that same money. Right. So you gave him commission over $1 million in sales? Wow, you really showed him. And T.I. told a similar story, but this time with more overt racism to it.
That's a house, man, bruh. I didn't even want this house.
How long you had that house?
Man, I had that house, goddamn, now it is 14 years, bro. 14 years, 2006. 14 years. So that's a house that she said, she told me I always wanted to live on a lake. I wanted to live on some water. I'm like, damn, we in Atlanta. What the fuck? You know what I mean? So I found this place and she took me to this lake. And it's the only lake or the closest lake where you could have a boat, a jet ski, you know what I mean, all on your back dock. And that's some that was, like, nigga, you don't find that in the city. Oh, yeah. I got a boat. I ain't never bought no jet ski, but, you know what I mean? I got, like, a little boat with a motor.
With a motor? Why did he specify that? I assumed it had a motor. It's not a sailboat. You're not on the ocean. I assumed it was a motorized boat, Tim.
And that's some shit you don't really find here.
Damn, I ain't know that existed here.
Yeah, hell yeah. If you want a house, let me know. Goddamn. But so I bought that house really, man. So we went looking at houses, and it was one that wasn't even finished yet. And then we tried to buy that one. And we had the money. I had just got like a $5 million something, and then another.
And you know what's crazy, bro? Like, especially when you have people like T.I., right? Like especially when you're coming back from, not having as much money as you have now, and to just instantly get $5 million. No one tell you how to manage it. You don't know nothing about money. So now you just like a young kid with $5 million. You don't know what to do with it. So guess what? You just start buying shit. No one tell you you have to go and reinvest it and do all that shit. Nope.
$10 million something and another $2 million. I was sitting.
He's probably talking about 2003, 4, 5. Back when trap music came out, urban legend after that. So T.I. was probably cooking back then. He could have bought land just about anywhere with how big he was back then and the amount of money he had coming in. Built his own house and a man-made lake on top of that. I think Rick Ross did something like that. I know Boosie is building his whole compound.
Welcome to Lake Badass.
Bro, Boosie always into some shit, bro.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. Welcome to Lake Badass. Oh, mama. Big boys in Lake Badass. Big boys in Lake Badass.
Homeboy look a little bit overdressed, man.
Real big boy.
Yeah. Some nice in here, boy.
Real big boy.
Yes, sir. Shout out to that man who put me off his lake. You motivated me for putting me off your lake, bro. All this laying back, nigga, build your own lake, nigga. You motivated me. I'm sorry for cutting you out.
Believe that.
So he could have took his money and really built his own compound the way he wanted.
Plus, I was doing shows, so it wasn't no issue. So it was the one house that we wanted. It wasn't 100% finished. It may have had about 75% of it done. The owner wouldn't sell me the house because the other motherfuckers around there, the neighbors, was like, nah, we don't want no niggas. Like, we don't want no. Don't sell it to him, basically.
So the owner, whether he was racist or not, he was a racist sympathizer, and the rest of the community didn't want to sell a black person a house. So the owner of the house that Tip wanted refused to sell him the house. That's racism and discrimination smacking him right in the face.
Hey, look, bro. If you have as much money as T.I. had, like, why would you even want to buy a house where you not want it anyway? You know what I mean? Especially if you're planning on having kids. Like, they telling you they don't want you there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can't really make decision off your ego, bro. That shit is always gonna backfire. Can't make decision off your ego, because he knows he's not wanted there, but his ego, he have to show off. He have to, can't be disrespected, man, especially as a man, bro.
Right there. Me personally, I'm one of those people. I like living in black communities. There's no shortage of that where I live. I like being around black people. So I wouldn't even want to buy a house in a community of people that don't want me there. I don't want to live around that. And I'm not even talking about back in the day where black people had to do that to integrate all white neighborhoods. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying right now there's a free.
And a lot of black people who actually do buy houses where they're not needed, I feel like a lot of them kind of have like a self-hatred thing going on, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say a raccoon, but yeah, like a tap dancer, raccoon, self-hatred. They trying to get approved, like, they're trying to get validation from the other man, you know what I mean? So
Free black man, you can live anywhere you want. I don't want to live in a community where it's a weird vibe or a bunch of racist people that I know don't want me.
And you gotta think about your kids, bro. Because if you do buy properties, you usually you buy a house long term, right? So you gotta think about your kids. Like, as an adult, you might be able to handle, all the racism, but it's like, if you have kids that's going to school, like, imagine your daughter or your son being like the only black person in that school, you know what I mean? Like, why would you want them going through that shit?
Me there.
So he blocked me from buying a house. I said, oh, hell no.
That's where you take your money, your millions of dollars, and go buy your own.
Yeah, but that ego, bro. That ego, man, it's that you gotta show off. You gotta put your chest up.
Land, build your own house, have a lake and whatever other amenity you want there, and live in peace with your family, or find a better neighborhood that's more welcoming to you. It don't gotta be all black. But why live around races that don't want you there, and why reward them by paying millions of dollars for a house that's gonna up their property value? Unless, once again, you're doing it just to piss people off. And T.I. came into that neighborhood like Thugnificent just because he knew it would bother everybody.
I mean, look, look, bro, I wouldn't say spending all that money just for, just to get on people's nerve. Like, I mean, if you do have it, if you have the money to spend, you have extra income, but you can't focus on shit like that, boy. You gotta focus on some other shit, man. Just waste $5 million just to bother people, you know what I mean? You gotta let that shit go, man. Karma always come back to them anyway.
That's right, y'all. Put your hands up, white folks.
But if that was the case, you already know how that would go. Those people would be calling the police on T.I. every single day for every little thing, complaining about any and everything they could, and just trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible for a black family in their neighborhood. I mean, we see it every day with black people minding their business and then being harassed.
It's illegal for you to have the ambulance at the park. Okay, understand for me.
I know they always.
And it's like, I feel like in a situation like this, right? Like, it's like, I be thinking, yo, ain't you, like, you don't you have nothing going on, bro? Like, don't you have a life? Like, you're not the authority, bro. You're not the police. You know what I mean? Why do you feel like you have to go out your way to let them know what's right or wrong, what's the law, especially if it's not bothering you? You can just pass by like everybody else, and your day would change. You wouldn't change at all. You know what I mean?
Kick me out. So if they kick me out, I'll go. But
Okay, just letting you know. I do not want a physical altercation.
Are you a cop?
No.
Okay, let a cop be a cop. You're not a cop, right?
Or a male Karen harassing an ice cream man for playing ice cream music from his ice cream truck.
You're upset about his music?
Yes.
Why?
Like I said, man, like, let you have a life, bro. Like when I leave my house, bro, I know what I need to do. I don't just go out my house just to go out my house. You know, if I gotta get my oil change, I gotta do market. I'm focused on that, bro. I don't go out freaking for no reason looking for trouble.
Keep walking. He has an ice cream truck. Why are you upset about his music?
Because there's a.
That's what ice cream trucks do.
You're allowed to play the music until you stop behind the public park, and then there is a.
And who the fuck? Like, unless he's a lawyer, even if you're a lawyer, who the fuck knows the law of when an ice cream truck's supposed to be playing the song? Like, did you go out your way to learn that shit?
Law that you have to turn off the music.
Like, why do you know
But
that?
how is that bothering you?
I'm not bothering you. Do I know what bothers you?
How is that bothering you? He's an ice cream truck. He's trying to get kids to come to the ice cream truck.
I don't
So
know.
why are we bothering
When
him?
he has a complaint, because it is the law, and he can avoid disparaging people who have a problem with it.
With the ice
With the ice cream truck, bro.
cream truck man. If he was white, would you
Hey man, look, there's a lot of people with mental health that's outside, bro. And you know, maybe he's one of them.
say anything about his music?
Are you calling somebody racist?
If he was white, would you say anything about his music?
This is
If
really
he was
dumb.
a white man, would you say anything about his music?
Probably
This has
not.
nothing to do
You
with
wouldn't.
what color
It has
he
a lot
is.
to do with it because if he was, you wouldn't say anything about his music.
So we went to riding around the motherfucking neighborhood asking motherfuckers to sell me their house.
So you get hit with racism and then you get more desperate to buy a
Yeah.
house in a racist neighborhood.
I just basically ride down the street like,
It's that
I can live in that
validation,
house.
man.
Let go ask them. And we found a motherfucker, and I overpaid like a motherfucker. Just I bought with my pride and my ego.
Yeah.
But because she wanted that house, you know what I mean? I later grew to love it. I've been on the lake maybe 2-3 times, man. I ain't really know, you know what I mean? There's too many mosquitoes and all that old kind of shit. I ain't finna jump in no lake, man. Motherfucker, man, come on, bro.
You overpaid for a house in a neighborhood that you didn't even want to live in, that you knew the rest of the white people in the neighborhood didn't want you in. They refused to sell you a house because of other races in the neighborhood. So you drove around to find a house, overpaid for it, and then you don't even like the lake. How does this make sense at all?
I mean, but I bought it because that was she wanted, and we raised our children there, so that has like a sentimental connection. You know what I mean? It ain't really nothing that I'ma probably just keep it in the family. You know what I mean? Cause now I done
Unless the neighborhood changed, but keep it in the family, bro. I don't know. I feel like you just wasted money, bro. You have to I feel like at a point you just gotta admit that, okay, it was a stupid mistake. I wasted money. And just trying to sell that shit.
I'm redoing the whole house, redoing the basement, putting the bowling alley and all
He's still-
kinds of other
he's
shit
still
in
working
there.
on that
I done
shit.
redid my master bedroom, master bathroom. I done turned it. I got a whole big ass closet. You know what I mean? Like some shit that only niggas like us gonna appreciate that. So it ain't really, I ain't gonna be able to get my money's worth out of it. I'm just investing in it because I know I ain't finna get rid of it, and I want it to be up to my standard.
Exactly.
If you're not going to get rid of a house and you're changing it to match your personality, he could have bought anywhere in Atlanta. There are huge
Exactly.
neighborhoods, mansions in Atlanta, but he said that.
And you know what? He's still making, like, I feel like he's just making that decision of his ego because he don't want to sell it. He don't want to admit that he made a stupid mistake and that he should just sell it, get rid of it. Like you might lose, you might lose money on it, but you're still adding money to it. So you're still losing money, bro.
There was no lake, which doesn't matter because he don't even like the lake. Our people got to do better. Don't reward
that
people that
ego,
discriminate
man.
against you. Don't reward racist people by spending your money with them or in their establishments. Have more pride for yourself. Have more self-respect for yourself. And spend money where you're wanted, where you're valued as a person
Facts,
and
bro.
a customer. More black people should be doing that. We all should be supporting businesses that rock with us, that support our community, whether that's all black businesses or other businesses that really support the black community. We all work hard for our money, and our money should only be spent at places that value us. It's really that
Facts.
simple. If I go in the store and nobody greets me and it's poor customer service, I won't spend my money in that store. If I'm ever
Yeah, but you know, but like at certain neighborhoods, it's like if you do need something, it's like you have to go. You know, you don't want to drive so far away to like a place that's gonna be like, okay, we accepted you. It's just like, especially like in the, you know, poor community, or you know, the hood, you call it. You know what I mean? So all these stores are like, you're not owned by black people, and we're not gonna drive all the way, you know, 30 minutes to go somewhere. Like, I get, you know, where he's coming from, but it's like, if you do need something though, it's just the convenience of it. You know what I mean? Because this in the hood, bro, there's not a lot of freaking black, you know, there's not a lot of black businesses. So you kind of have no choice. You know what I mean? And people will always take what's more convenient, you know, what's easiest to them. But you know, I understand where they're coming from, but like, I feel like once we do have black businesses, and I'm seeing a change, bro. A lot of black African American people now are learning about business, learning, you know, how to make money, how to manage their money. So like, I can see a future where it's not the same. You know what I mean?
discriminated against, that business or person will not see a penny from me. Do not
But yeah, like if it's so obvious, like you go in there and you can, you know, they tell you, or you know, like if it's that obvious, then okay, you don't go there. You know what I mean?
reward people who show.
But the reality of it is like, most of these stores are like that. Most of these people, they see us like that. You know what I mean? They go to their house and they talk to their family and they talk shit about, you know, about us. So
Show disdain for you.
even the one that's smiling on your face, it's the same shit, bro. Promise you.
You, your culture, or your people by spending money with them. We got to support businesses and people that support us in our community. But shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting.
Hey, that was it, bro. That was it.